All right, there was a little bit of discussion earlier today on one of the airgun forums about what happens to point of impact with these air guns that can change barrels, what that barrel changing process does to the point of impact. So I, after a long day of work, decided that I might try to get out here and have a little fun shooting some air guns. So just to show the target before I shoot anything, that I'm not doing any funny business, there aren't any holes in that white sheet of paper. And these are the lights, and I think that I'm going to be at about the 41, 42 yard mark. Absolutely beautiful evening, big bright moon, got some clouds moving in. So let's head back to my bench. The premise here is that I'm going to shoot groups with two different barrels and compare where those impact points land. And I've got really good dope with the 177 barrel. Not so great information on trajectory with the 2.2 barrel. So here is the shooting bench, pretty poorly lit. It's a little bit better deal there next to my wheelbarrow full of firewood. So it's got, so this is a Ghost. Obviously it's got a 2.2 barrel in it right now. It's the 23-inch, just a factory Ghost barrel. And then there's the carbine barrel underneath there that's in a 177, and we're going to swap that out and see what that does for impact points. The 3 pellets that I'm going to shoot in this comparison are FX, which are really just JSB 10.34s in the 177. And then for the 2.2s, I think I might try some 18s and some 20.83, also both JSB. So let's see what this is going to do to us. And I am wanting to do it all in one take, mostly because I hate editing, but also because it will just prove that I'm not editing and doing anything tricky. So with this reg pressure, which is 108, 110 bar, the 18 grain pellets on low for the power wheel were 803, and on high were 995. So I think I'm gonna try those at about 8 on the power wheel. I'm sorry if I'm blinding you there, I just need to see what I'm doing. So I'm on 8. And I think I might even shoot a couple shots just to get everything refreshed. I live on a couple acres. I know what's downrange. Nothing. There's a creek back there. So I'm fairly comfortable shooting right here. So, all right, let's see what we get now. And of course, make sure the scope, yep, we're at 0, back at the 0 stop. Of course, the pipe that I use to hang my bug light in the summer is nearly right in the line of sight. So the whole table here, a couple inches. A little left of that aim point. Not much wind right now. That one's touching the previous one. I haven't been shooting a lot lately. I've just been busy with work and kids and family. I pulled that one a little low, but it's still pretty close. I'm thinking 5 with each projectile that we're testing here would be a good test. That one's right on top of the first 2. And that one connects them all. That one landed between my 3 group cluster at the top and my 1 shot that I pulled low. So they're all touching. And let's run down there. Actually, you know what? Let me shoot some of the other 2.2 pellets. And these are the 20.83s. So my dope data, or not my dope data, but my trajectory data, sorry, can't talk. My chronograph data shows that power wheel on low will give me 743 and on high 951 with this pellet. So I think I'm going to go up to probably about 12 clicks. And I'm guessing that that is going to put me in the 900, 920 range, which is kind of what I was hoping for with the 18 grain pellets as well. So I am now shooting 20.83s, and I didn't touch the scope at all. That's in the same cluster. Same cluster again. It's not making new holes now. Oh, I pulled that one low and right. That one's touching the group of everything else. My paper's fluttering around down there too. There's a little more wind than I thought. Yeah, that one's right in the group of everything. So, also, just out of curiosity, I'm going to laser range find this and see what we're looking at. Oh, it's always so hard to see these at night when they're not illuminated. Yeah, it looks like 41, which is about what I was thinking based on my permanent targets that are out there. All right, so let's take a walk down range. And on all of these, I just held on that crosshair that you saw that I drew in the paper. So that was 5 shots with 20.83s and 5 shots with 18.13s. So the first 3 were right there and with the 18.1s, and then I pulled low down here, and then the 4th shot with the 18.1s connected them. And then this one that's a little high right here was one of the 20.83s, and then I pulled this 20.83, and then the rest of the 3 of the other, so there were 5 with 20.83s. That was one of them in the upper right, and that was one of them in the bottom right. The other 3 are right there in that cluster. So we're talking a fingernail-sized group, and really the gun will shoot tighter than that. This is just for demonstration purposes, mostly for a point of impact shift with a barrel change. So that's within just a few clicks of the crosshair, and that's assuming that crosshair is that the scope's still zeroed from when I had the 177 barrel in it, because that's the baseline basically for this gun. So we're gonna go back, swap out the barrel. Hopefully I can do that quickly so that this video doesn't become excessively long, and shoot some groups with the 177, see where they land, and show you guys where they land, of course. Okay. So I'm gonna need some more light, so I'm gonna try not to blind everybody, but I imagine you're gonna get some flashes. So barrel swaps are super easy. Open the bolt. That's the grub screw that holds the barrel. I'm going to take the moderator off because I'm going to swap it to the other barrel. Get on the concrete. So, put that on the 177 barrel. Snug it up. There's the 177 probe. Roll the 2.2 barrel. Slide that in this sleeve that I have that kind of protects them. Note orientation of the grub screw. Just lining up the grub screw pocket with the threaded hole here. Snug that up. I don't give it a big gorilla monkey torque twist to try to tighten it up. So now I'm swapping out the bolt probe here. And that's also a 1 screw proposition. So fell on the counter, which is fine. Goes out the back of the gun, just like that. Slide the 177 probe in. Line it up in the carrier. And use the grub screw to, or sorry, not the grub screw, the Allen key to kind of get this thing where I want it to be. Get the holes lined up right there. Interesting thing on the 177 probe is that it's a flow-through probe. So if you install it upside down, it'll still shoot, but man, does it rob your power. So snug that up just a little bit. And I am checking to make sure that I've got the transfer port down, so that the air coming up goes where it should. Decock it. Okay. Now, 177 pellets. Turn my light off so I'm not blinding everybody. So this is the baseline for this gun, is 177s and that the 10.34 177s. And that red pressure of 108, 110 bar is what produces 19 foot-pounds-ish. So minimum on this is 890 on the power wheel, and high is 920. And usually I found on the lower end of that is about the best accuracy. So I'm just going to give it a couple clicks, I think to 5, because it seems like that's where I remember shooting best. And then I'm going to look at my dope data here in a different part of my notebook for 40 yards. 40 yards should be 2 clicks according to this last time I was shooting the gun. So I am going to give it 1-2 clicks. Now, in theory, this should be pretty dang close to that crosshair. Granted, I haven't shot much lately, and I'm cold and shivering right now. So, we're about to find out. Oh, low and right. So my dope data is not good from the last time I had the gun out. There's wind out there, the paper's rattling around. That one hit, about a 1/4 inch from the first shot. I may have pulled that first one a little bit. That one combined a bunch of the holes into one hole now from the previous group. And I'm still just aiming at that crosshair. I have the same aim point for every single one of these shots, which is best I can do at the holding it on the middle. The wind got that one. That one pushed way left, outside of the main cluster of 2-2s. There's more wind out there than I was hoping for tonight. And that one pushed left and high too. So I think that's what the wind's doing to me. Kind of like it's settling in over there, which it sometimes does after you shoot it a couple times. It'll somewhat settle. So let's show you guys where those landed. How long is this getting? 16 minutes? I was hoping to be able to do this in a shorter time frame than that. That 177 in the wind is the tricky part. Okay, so this was my first 177 shot. That was the second 177 shot, and then these others settled in right here. And you can see, if you watch that paper rustling in the wind, there's right here, there is wind out here. And it does feel like it's pushing right to left. So all of those holes, except this first one, which you can't really count since I was just fresh install, all of those holes will fit basically under the thumb pad of my finger. And that was switching barrels even. So I guess the real test now would be to go back to the 2-2 and see if holes land in there or somewhere else. So let's do that real quick. It's already 16, 18 minutes long. Why not make it 20, right? This is going to be pretty boring for most folks unless you're really invested and interested in seeing the effect of a barrel swap. So, okay, we're going to swap out the barrel real fast again. Back to what we started with, the 2-2. Same deal as before, just try to line up that grub screw. Which is going to be right there. Gently snug that up. Moderator back on this 2-2 barrel. Swap back the bolt probe, pellet probe. It right out the back, just like I hoped it would. Back to the 2-2 at this point. Get my thread holes lined up. Okay. We are back in 2-2 business. I'm going to shut the 177 pellets, and I'll leave the 20 grain 2-2s out. But let's dial it back up to, I think I had it at 8. for the 18 grainers. And because that first shot with the 1-1 messed up my experiment here, I'm gonna just blow one off into the, just waste one. Okay. Shoot a couple here. Oh yeah, I put 2 clicks in for the 177, so I'll back it down to nothing. Yep, right in the middle of everything. Now, one of the comments that a ghost owner made was that even with barrel swaps, all of the shots are squirrel head, even with the slight movement that you see. And I agree. At 41 yards, I don't think any one of these would have missed a squirrel head. Is that 4, maybe? Okay. That was 5 shots with the 18s. I think that I had it dialed to 12 with the 20 grainers a minute ago. So let's throw, so I just dialed it up to 12. Let's throw 5 of the 23s down there. Same aim point again, or still, rather, every single one of them I've held right in the middle of that crosshair that I drew on the paper. No new holes. The only hole that's not even touching the group of the rest of them is the first shot with the 177 that I should have just wasted. I know better than that. After a fresh barrel swap, that first shot always is a little wonky. I think this might be 5 here. I lost count because I'm trying to do too many things at once. Okay, go show that to you and then call it a night. This thing got plenty long. All that beautiful cloud cover is supposed to have some snow working its way in here tomorrow. And I think this is the storm ahead of that cloud cover. And yes, that pink haze over there is the black lights or whatever that they use for a local marijuana plant. And when there's cloud cover like this, they shine up into the clouds and make it purple. So this is all the shots that I just took. All the aim points were right there. So it looks like my scope zero's a little off because everything was there. This is the only one not touching. That was the first 177. That was the second 177. Both of those shots should have been wasted since they were after a fresh barrel swap. But pretty much everything else is thumbnail sized. Hopefully I'm getting that. And that was, let's see, that was 5 shots with the 20.83s. Oh, excuse me, 5 with the 18s, 5 with the 20.3s, and then I switched barrels and shot 5 with the 177, and then came back and shot 5 more with each of those 2 weight pellets. So that's 2 barrel swaps, and everything's putting me, that's certainly hunting accuracy, thumbnail. That's a whole lot of prairie dog brains or Eurasian collared dove chests or squirrel brains. So anyway, that's what happens when you change the barrel on a ghost. Not a whole lot of point of impact change if everything's working right.